Hello, Smits.
How
Whoa.
it doing?
It's going well, man.
Yeah.
Let me get my mom
Did you,
up here.
did you enjoy my snow background?
That's very nice, actually. Very
Yeah.
animated background.
Very, very relaxing. Yeah. So we're not talking Christmas.
No, we're not talking Christmas night.
So my Die Hard tunnel background is kind of wasted today.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
So someone wasn't prepared.
Well, she didn't know what was going to happen or not, basically.
What's going to happen? We're just going to talk. That's all we do. We don't prepare anything.
Oh, I know. You know my mom. Not my mom. I'm sorry. I'm so confused here. Okay, where's your Go Live link here? I'm looking for a Go Live link so I get to send to my mom here.
What's that?
Looking for the Facebook Live link here. Oh, there it is. Just came up.
Yeah.
Copy link. Send to my mom. We got important. Get the important one in here.
Yeah.
And there we go. Hope that works. Just let me know.
All right.
All right, buddy. How are we doing?
Not bad. You?
Well, so work's been crazy daisy, but I'll tell you.
Yeah. Like I said, that's a good thing. It builds character.
Oh, it does actually. And I have not been able to go see Godzilla -1. It is playing in Ottawa.
Okay. Yep.
It's playing one showing at 10 p.m. over in Canada.
That's it.
That's it. It's
down here. We've got it quite a few days. I'm just checking here. I can
really.
It's got 4 showings tomorrow at the Pen.
Really?
Noon, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9:50.
Oh no, man! I've got 0. I've got a theater 10 minutes from me. 0 showings. Yep. Famous Player 50 minutes away. 0. I mean, pardon me. Cineplex 0 showings. I got to go all the way to Canada, way out that way if I want to see it, and it's like 1 showing. And I really want to see it on the big screen because it looks.
Yeah. The last Godzilla movie I think I saw on the big screen was the Matthew Broderick one in 98?
Oh, same. 100% same.
Yeah. They just. I'm sure that if I had searched, I could have found some indie theaters that were playing some of the other ones or whatever over the last umpteen years. But
I don't know because I've got
I never
two in
searched.
town. Yeah, I've got 2 in town, and they never carried any of them actually.
Yep. We've got now the PAC, the Performing Arts Center downtown, and they do a bunch of artsy films and stuff like that, where they claim to be artsy. I suspect sometimes it's just films they like, or films that they think people think are artsy, and that's what they like to show.
Well, yeah.
Some of the popular artsy stuff. But there's also a cinema in Hamilton, the Westdale, that I went to, and that's where I saw Relaxing from the Future, and that was a very good film, very fun film, which is now available on streaming, I believe. I'm not sure where, but I did see it was available on streaming on their social medias.
Yeah, I'm not sure where, but I saw it pop up.
Yeah, jump on their Instagram, jump on Wango Films, and take a look. I'm sure they'll point you in the right direction to see where you can watch that movie because it was good. I would recommend it. I would definitely give it a watch. Yeah,
we covered that one of the streams. You gave us a lowdown on it. It sounds really good, and I love independent cinema.
Yep.
We got 2. Well, we're Nation's capital, right? So we have the Mayfair, which will play some independent stuff and some of the classics. So if you want to watch like Indiana Jones or Rocky Horror Picture Show, you'll find that there. But anything that's off the beaten track will show up there. Say the Bytown. Bytown goes hard on independent and foreign films. But neither one are carrying Godzilla, though, unfortunately.
I think if you're going to be an independent cinema or market yourself as an independent cinema, you have to show not mainstream titles, but you have to show popular old retro titles. You've got to show like a Back to the Future once in a while. You've got to show a Breakfast Club. You've got to show a Indiana Jones. You've got to show that sort of stuff just to put the bums in the seats and keep the doors open and the lights on.
And the because was doing that
not everyone's heard of the little things that you're bringing out. And that might be your passion. It might be the ones that you really enjoy showing and sharing with the world, but they're not going to sell out. Whereas if word gets out that you've got some of these classic 80s films going on or whatever, you got a better chance. And when I saw Relaxing from the Future, I'm going to guesstimate there were maybe 40 people there. Maybe. Could have been as low as 30, could have been as high as 50.
Yeah.
It was dark. And I don't know. But it certainly wasn't a full house. It was a lot of friends and family of the director and stuff like that, because that's the people who tend to go to these things.
Well, precisely.
When I saw Simulant in Niagara Falls there, that one did have a full house, but that was a much bigger scope film. That was April Mullins, Simu Liu, and Robbie Amell, and a bigger name cast. And the guy from Avatar, can't think of his name.
I'm trying to think. Sam? No.
Sam Worthington?
Yeah, no.
Is that him?
I think so.
I think so. But hey, anyway, it did much better because, one, it was a popular director for the area, bringing a lot of social media push and just a lot of buzz, and a bigger movie. Not really an independent film, but well, it was not an independent film. It was even though Wango is a smaller studio, it was a local director and local writer and stuff like that. So that was the draw for that one. But that would be the anomaly, not the norm. That would be, you've got some push and some buzz to fill your seats, whereas, well, and it had national release. It was in a Cineplex cinema, not an independent cinema. But yeah, your independent cinemas need to have those popular titles to draw people in.
Well, they can't. When Fox acquired when Disney acquired the Fox catalog and other catalogs,
yep.
The first thing they did was actually say these titles are no longer available for distribution. The only thing they actually left off for distribution was Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yep.
And that killed a lot of the independent cinemas because they couldn't actually order the titles because they just weren't available.
Yeah.
I don't know the status of that. I do know that it's not as wide as it was. So when it does pop up, it's usually a one-off now. So that's why a lot of these little theaters cannot show the old films. Yep. Disney and the other studios are just not making them available because they're saving them for streaming, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, because
it's the experience. You like to watch them on the big screen like that.
I did see the Mayfair did do an Indiana Jones and Back to the Future, like, once in a while last year or two, but it was not like before Disney bought them out. Those titles, just bam, 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 was constant. It was awesome, and they would pair it with stuff too, which is kind of a shame because, like you said, I agree. Like, yes, you can watch those things on physical media, or you can watch those things on streaming, but having the opportunity to see those things on the big screen is something that you really gotta enjoy. And so every February, Cineplex used to do kind of like classic movies, like week whatever kind of thing, and they basically put a whole bunch of random titles back in the theater. And I actually would go to the one theater in town that actually would do this, and I watched like Fifth Element, Terminator 2, and I think Star Trek 2, all on the big screen. Now I have all these titles on DVD and all that, but seeing the big screen again was absolutely awesome, especially Fifth Element. It was absolutely awesome.
I haven't seen that in ages, but I was just looking at my shelf over there, and I realized I have it on VHS still.
I've got some Disney on VHS.
Yeah,
Fifth Element gets regular play in our house. It's one of our favorite films.
Yeah, it's a classic. I mean,
Luke Besson.
Yeah, like everyone enjoyed that film, I think, and it was different from a lot of the stuff that we had seen.
It was a cult classic now, but when it came out, it kind of went over people's heads a bit, actually, unfortunately.
Yeah, I could see that.
But like I said, the color palette's wonderful, dialogue's wonderful. Chris Tucker, who doesn't love Ruby Rod? And it's just all around a fun film. Like, Sheree and I enjoy watching it. Like, it's one of our go-to movies just to watch for noise. We want to. But you never watch for noise. You actually wind up watching the film. It's not something you put on
Well,
and
yeah,
listen to,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah. They're not really background noise films anymore.
So, The Doctor.
I was going to say, so we were going to talk about Christmas stuff, but guess that's not going to happen tonight.
Nope, I'll have to reschedule.
I'll take this away.
You got to tee up with Hemi and get her tuned up.
Yeah.
But
let's give a quick little talk here for a second. That
yes.
November is over. We're in December now. Thanks to everyone out there, we raised $1,021 for November, which destroyed my target. Last year, I raised $650. So I had set a modest 10% increase on my target of $715, and we raised $306 more than that. So, which is almost 50% more, actually.
Good job, Switz.
We're like, that's like 40% more. That's a pretty darn good increase or surpassing of our target there. So no, we did fantastic there. Like I said before on one of our other streams, like I don't get anything out of this. It was just the joy of helping people and raising some money and having some fun. And thanks to everyone who donated. That was fantastic. What's that? Sorry?
Got you out walking.
Yeah.
Lucky they do it in November and not December.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, way to go, Switz. It's like I said, you've been doing it for 11 years now, so
yeah.
Keep good work, man.
Which makes it's going to be even harder next year when we have to try and raise $1,100 and some odd dollars.
You might just sell feet picks.
We got to keep increasing.
You know what you could do is basically offer your top donor a chance to shave your mustache.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That's what we did at our work, actually. Like, to raise money, the guy, they had basically a shave off, and it was, I watched it over the Zoom. It was an experience.
Yeah.
Watching people who never shaved someone before in their life.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, it was like, oh my gosh.
Mm.
The good news is there's no offensive mustaches being made, so that was good. There was some porn stashes and some mutton chops created, so it was all good though. But yeah, it was a good cause. They raised a lot of money at work too.
Good. Let me just find one more thing here quickly. All right, so the first two specials have come out for Doctor Who. So we saw the Star Beast. And that was the very first one. That was 2 weeks ago. That was on the November 25th for the to coincide with the or as close to as possible for the actual 60th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the Wild Blue Yonder.
Yeah, Wild Blue Yonder. Yeah.
Yep. So let's talk about. We haven't talked about the Star Beast yet, have we?
No, and I figured out Disney's plan too.
Okay.
So for those are playing at home, Doctor Who is a UK British science fiction series around 60 years, something near and dear to Greg Snipes' heart. It was rejuvenated in 2009.
Yep.
Okay.
No, 2005.
Oh, 5, pardon me, yeah. And it was being broadcast in Canada on CBC, then I forget which other channel, Sci-Fi or Space. And basically because it was that channel struck a deal with the UK BBC to help get some cash to produce it, which is a good idea. Last season, 2 seasons show, it wasn't very good. And all of a sudden Disney goes, you know what? We would like a shot to air Doctor Who. And they said, okay, but we only want the specials and the new series going on. We don't want any of the old stuff. It's like, okay. So these specials do require you to know a bit of the past history. And I was kind of weird that Disney was not going for it. Then I realized they don't.
Did Disney say that, or did the BBC say we're holding on to the original stuff first?
No, Disney. So the original stuff, like the old stuff, is on Tubi. The original stuff's now on Prime Video. Amazon Prime has it all.
Okay.
And so what it was basically is Disney did not see value in paying what the BBC was asking for the rights to the older 05 stuff.
Yeah.
They said no. So what it is Disney doesn't really care that much about Doctor Who. They want new eyes on their service. They're thinking that Doctor Who fans will come for these specials, which we will come in droves,
Yeah.
And they'll stick around and watch other stuff on Disney Plus, basically. So that is Disney's whole long-term strategy. And also, it is a more economic way of Disney having new content without having to do it all by themselves.
Yeah.
They're still giving the BBC some money. It's obvious from the effects and stuff, which we'll
talk
about.
Yeah.
But that's Disney's plan. They don't really care about Doctor Who in the long term. They're just trying to get new viewers, eyes on their current stuff. And I think if the next season does not produce a good jump in viewers, Disney might cut out after about 2 years, I think, and just pass on it. That's what my research has concluded, which is a brilliant marketing plan by Disney.
Yeah.
But anyways, 3 specials to start off when we have the Star Beast as number 1.
Yes. And I think we mentioned that it was very closely based on the comic book.
Super close.
From 1984.
You speculated it's either going to be very, very, very either based right on it,
right,
or inspired by it. Yeah.
And basically took it frame for frame. Yep. The story was well adapted from it there, but they did have to shoehorn in some of the stuff to kind of make it all fit with the previous series.
Exactly.
Because the comic book is written just as not standalone, but just a continuation of the series and the story back in '84.
Exactly.
And they could just pick up and go with wherever they were.
Yep.
Yep. They didn't have to include any past. They didn't have to include any companions, guest stars, anything like that. They had K9, but that was all they needed, and just introduced new characters in it. And for the large part, the characters they introduced in the comic book were introduced in the show as well. You had Donna's daughter Rose, who was the equivalent of the one character in the comic book, and the little friend played pretty much the other character in the comic book that the Doctor meets, the 2 kids. K9 really didn't do anything in the comic book, so it didn't matter. But yeah, Beep the Meep was there, and the Worth Warriors were there, and they played out exactly as they did in the comic book. And there was no surprise with the way the story went, and there shouldn't have been, I guess. I'm glad that there wasn't much of a surprise. I'm glad that they didn't change things drastically, because in a way, I suppose it would have been nice to have something surprising, but this was a comic book that was 30 odd years old, almost 40 years old, I guess.
Right.
I guess you can count on not a lot of people having read it or seen it. You can count on not a lot of people having heard of it and knowing that it was going to be the same story. I suppose if people did Google Star Beast and Doctor Who, that might have come up, and they might have read it that way. But I think, in large, the fans wanted surprise, so I don't know if they really did Google a whole lot of this. I don't know.
I don't think there's much surprise, because as soon as the first 10 minutes, I figured out the whole plot of the episode. I mean, the comic.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a complex plot.
No,
some things were surprising.
Yeah, I saw it coming a mile away, so it was there.
Well, did you see how Donna lived coming a mile away?
Yes, I know Russell T Davies. I knew he was gonna do something stupid like that. It was extremely lazy writing. I knew the whole point of this episode, right from the first 5 minutes, was just to get the Doctor to remove all the hamstrings that he put on Donna in the first place that made it emotionally impactful. And just shortcut his way through it. So I found this episode to be lazy writing, actually. So there's no surprises to it.
Why do you think they chose to go with Donna?
Well, like I said,
having a character that they had handcuffed, kind of.
Well, it was basically, and I'm not a fan of Tennant and Tate, but Tennant and Tate are the most popular companions.
I think with Donna, you had like the most character development of a companion. You're either going
easy to bring her back, and Russell T Davies goes, "This will bring back Who fans." That was the whole point.
Yeah. But just for the audience there, that I think you had, because you had her start off as kind of shallow, and self-absorbed, and then she grew and became smart and adventurous and lived and really enjoyed her time with the Doctor and all that stuff. And then the heartbreak of he had to erase her memory of all of it and basically turned her back to her original character with some benefits to her, but not a whole lot.
This was easiest companion to undo. And basically, like I said, the whole point of these series is to reinvigorate viewership into the series, and for Disney Plus to say it's worth their money.
It did have the highest ratings they had in 5 years, I think they said.
That's what they claim. So
yeah, well, that's also not hard to beat because the show was declining.
Well, viewership on streaming is different than actually tracking TV viewership. Like in one click is whatever kind of thing.
I think this was just the BBC's results that I heard.
Exactly. So
BBC Plus streaming would be more, but
allegedly, yeah. But it was the most hyped up return.
Even if we just add the two of us to the BBC numbers, it's still the BBC numbers and streaming is more.
Like I said, though, it's Tennant and Tate. They're going for basically a big revamp, and they're gonna go for it. Whether it meant sacrificing all the important dramatics that came before it and down the torpedoes, they did it. So
yeah. Then we had the Wild Blue Yonder last week.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the Star Beast. I got a lot more to say about the Star Beast.
Oh, okay. All right, sorry.
No, they don't have any more to say about it. I'm going to say why I found it lazy writing. So, right off the start, it broke two of the rules we talked about in Doctor Who that, make for a bad Doctor Who episode. The sonic screwdriver became a magic wand.
It very much did, and I hope they don't do that again.
And the Doctor was the stupidest person in the episode. So those two things make for a bad Doctor episode, and this is what happened in the end. The ending was rushed. It made no real sense for Donna to figure out this magic solution, all this stuff. It was just a very terrible episode. Like, I give it 6 out of 5. If Davey just want to put Tennant and Tate back together again, there's better ways to do it than kind of just make this hodgepodge of an episode. Another comment you brought up too in our previous stream, which is now these guys have money. And what was great about prior Who shows is they didn't have a lot of money. So a lot more effort went on writing and character development as opposed to effects. In this episode, definitely the money was on the screen with the TARDIS reveal and all that. And I was watching some of the behind the scenes stuff like that. It's all about the effects and stuff like that. So they are leaning into the effects as opposed to the story, which I have concerns about.
Yeah.
All in all, basically, I would not recommend new viewers to watch this episode. Go and watch Wild Blue Yonder instead. That's my advice to you. If you want to get on, don't watch the first episode.
I recommend you watch it because I like to have an argument. No.
Anyways, that's why
was there anything you liked about it? You gave it a 6 out of 10, so there must have been something you liked about it.
Well, Tennant basically is back as the Doctor, no problem. Like he stepped back to those old shoes, and it was nice to see him on the screen, and it felt like Doctor Who after a long time of not feeling Doctor Who.
Yeah,
so I really did appreciate that. A few of the throwbacks is psychic paper failing and stuff like that was good. But like I said, though, I found my attention did wandering after a while. So it was 6 out of 5. It was good. But like I said, I would not recommend people watch this their first Doctor Who episode. It'll just confuse you. You have no idea what's going on.
You did need to have some previous knowledge of the show.
A lot in the previous knowledge, which again is not available on Disney Plus.
True, but they were writing this before any of this Disney Plus stuff was announced. They were writing this as an anniversary special for the fans. So you can expect that 90% of your audience knows the history and knows who these characters are and knows what's going on. So I was glad that they didn't burden it down with a whole lot of build-up and backstory to catch up the new viewers because they didn't expect new viewers.
No, but like I said, so that goes that way. But these new viewers in order to survive and prosper, this is not an episode that's going to be an on-ramp.
The show doesn't need new viewers to survive and prosper because the show is fine. The show has the fans regardless. Well, they put up with terrible writing and terrible episodes, and way back they've dealt with it being off the air for 20 years. True. So the show will survive regardless. Disney Plus needs the new viewers. The BBC doesn't need new viewers. The show doesn't need new viewers. Disney needs new viewers to come in for it.
I think the show needs new viewers because one more year of Chen Ball would have basically killed the franchise again.
But that's the thing about this franchise. Even though the numbers were dropping, and the interest wasn't slipping, because people were still interested, even if it was just a chirp about it, and to mock it or to degrade it or pick it apart or nitpick it or whatever. The show was still popular, even if it wasn't liked. So the show, by doing what they did, by going back to Tennant, they knew that they would get that bump in viewership. They knew that the old fans would come back, and it would be just like in the prime heyday, really. So they didn't have to work that hard or do much heavy lifting with it to get the numbers up there. I had heard something that they had said, instead of writing these as the 14th Doctor, they could have written them as the 10th Doctor and just done flashback episodes.
Yeah,
and they could have. It really could have been a flashback because the characterization was the same as 10.
Well, they'd argue that basically that the characterization is different from 10, and like we're trying to pick it apart, right?
Marginally. I mean, there's not a whole lot. Yeah. I mean, they're going back to the tried and true, where 9 and 10, their remorse was from the Time War. Now we have 14, and his remorse is from 5 years of bad writing, or from the Timeless Child's thing. They did hint on it about him being remorseful at the Flux, and the Flux destroying half the universe.
They did. Yeah.
Which kind of tied it back to the previous seasons. But it gets the Doctor in the same headspace, but they could have written this all just as flashback stories between Jodie Whittaker's 13 and Ncuti Gatwa's 15th Doctor, and they could have called him 14 instead and just done this as 10 as a flashback.
Yeah.
And you could have easily done that. Oh, I'm regenerating, I'm having a memory.
Yeah, which they still could.
They still could, but they have gone on record, I think, and said that no, this is the 14th Doctor. He is different. It is not a flashback. These are the current events and current stories.
Right.
Yeah.
I would have preferred much more of I write it a bit differently, basically. The first story basically would have spent a lot of the Doctor trying to figure out why he had this old face, and kind of subtly bringing back Donna. This was like a hodgepodge of stuff. But,
this was going to be a nostalgia tour. This was going to be The Force Awakens. Right. I enjoyed the episode. I did. Because I'm a more emotional watcher than you are, I think. And I can push past or ignore some of the shortcomings and just enjoy the nostalgia of it all more than you can, I think.
I can't, no, because when there's shortcomings, they pick at me like an itchy sweater, like, that.
Yep.
No.
Speaking of itchy sweaters, you know what I did really like about this episode, and I was thrilled about, was the fact that the Meep and the Worth Warriors there were all practical effects and costumes. They were not CGI.
Again.
And I loved that.
That was impressive, but like I said, I do worry they're going to lean too hard into that. But like I said, let's talk about that in the Wild Blue Yonder, because that's one of my small picks about that episode.
Yeah, but I love the fact that these guys were actually guys in costumes.
It looks so much better than CGI.
Yeah,
and I've ranted before about CGI versus practical effects. I go to a movie now, I see CGI, I'm like, I don't know if I'm desensitized to it or if it's too fake or whatever.
There's some stuff that you need to do CGI. I get that. Like space backgrounds and stars and planets and time vortexes and things like that. You need to do that with CGI or some sort of animation anyway. But to have practical robots and costumes and monsters was fantastic. I really, really enjoyed that part of the
Me
show.
too. That brought a really nice feel to it, actually.
Yeah,
That's why I gave it 6.
And I love the voices they chose for the Worth Warriors there.
Yeah,
That was just brilliant. Oh, hello, yes, we're here. We're the police.
Yep.
We're
like I said, that part was brilliant, and
yep.
like I said, a lot of the horror I enjoy, it's not CGI blood, it's actually practical effects, which is a lost art. So
Mhm.
yeah, I agree. Practical effects here was very, very spot on.
Yeah.
That TARDIS interior, that's a real.
It's entirely practical
monstrous
effect.
set.
Yeah.
It's monstrous.
Yes, and really, really well done. Really cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, number 2.
Number 2, this aired last week.
Yep.
We had The Wild Blue Yonder, which the title didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I don't know what they were doing. Was it basically just Russell T Davies wanted to have it so he could play the Wild Blue Yonder in the episode, or what?
Yeah. I'm really not sure why.
Yeah,
because there was wild and there was yonder, but I didn't see much blue.
Unless like the Star Beast and the Wild Blue Yonder letters spell something out. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But, I don't know. I haven't worked it out yet.
Yep.
But there's got to be a rhyme. There's got to be a reason these titles. It can't just be random, especially this one. This one is
the Star Beast. We know where the title came from. It came from the comic book.
Right.
So there's no real debate or question about that one. That we know where that came from.
Well, they could have called it Meep too.
They could have. Yeah. But I mean, it could have been a rights thing or something like that too.
Yeah, but the Wild Blue Yonder, I'm like, and they're having the whole discussion about the Wild Blue Yonder too.
Yeah.
Like,
they didn't really touch back on it because they did mention the song.
Yeah.
They sang it in her school days or whatever, but
the
Gramps didn't like it because it was a war song or something.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But the rest of the episode, I gave this one basically 7.5 and 8. It felt like a traditional Doctor Who episode.
It was a great scary episode.
Monster of the Week, yeah.
It was a great standalone episode. Mm-hmm. It was a great bottle episode or minimal cast episode.
Oh, yes.
Because really, you had the Doctor and Donna and a couple of monsters and a robot.
2 stand-ins and a practical effect. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, the non-people, or what did they call them? The non-things?
Something like that, yeah.
Those had to be done in CGI.
Yes, for the most part, they had to be.
For the most part, yes. There was some of it that was practical. Yep. You had contortionists doing some of the stunts and stuff like that in costume and all that, but I think they might have still like face masked over top of them or whatever, or just used people.
They did actually. Again, I watched the behind the scenes.
Okay.
And that's where one of my nitpicks come with it, because again, remember how I talk about they're getting money for effects?
Yeah.
When Tennant's arms stretch and all that. That was a practical effect.
Yeah.
They 3D scanned them and made these prosthetics. I don't know how much cost for a 10-second shot.
Yeah.
I'm like, why not just CGI the damn thing? You know,
it probably would have cost the same.
I don't think so, because these are actually complex mechanics inside the actual arms. It took weeks to build.
It looked real though.
No, it looked stupid. I'm sorry. Maybe that looked stupid.
It looked better to me than CGI would have.
It looked CGI. I thought it was CGI until I saw behind the scenes, actually.
Yep. I assumed it was CGI, but I thought it looked really good. So now that you're saying it was real, I was like, wow, okay, I'm impressed.
Now again, I think
they're falling
in the trap of getting that big budget money.
Yeah.
And they're getting away from the story a bit. So
yeah, well, I don't think it got away from the story.
I thought it distracted a bit from the story.
The story was really self-contained and small, so there wasn't much to get away from. You couldn't really deviate too far from it.
Yeah, but it was just like, but I found this episode didn't wander as much as the first episode. This was a nice, tight, well-paced shot episode.
Yeah.
As a purist, I'm a little annoyed when he mentioned the Hads. I shut that off years ago. Did you really shut off years ago? Because it was on during the Capaldi era. So, and the TARDIS smashing into things.
Well, that's the thing. When you say years ago, we don't know how many years. Well, we know that the 13th Doctor was in jail for like 50 years or whatever before she got rescued. So years ago is a relative or subjective term.
And the TARDIS smash into things like that. Like, okay, I know it's crashing, but why does it materialize and smash? Like, okay, just doing it to show off. So those are my nitpicks. The other thing too, again, at least they separate. Again, they separate the Doctor from his magic wand, which was a good, good idea.
Yep.
But again, they did make him kind of like the dumbest person in the episode, which again I didn't like very much because Donna was smarter than he was. And if you figure out the numeric language and operate the computers, it took that long to figure out what was going on, kind of thing. So that was kind of like, I felt Russell T Davies was kind of just really stretching, trying to reach the end and kind of just lunge for something. But again, those were all kind of minor nitpicks about this so far. It was a very good Doctor Who episode, especially it was a very good 10 episode actually.
Yeah, and scary at times.
It was actually there was a
few
good jump scares.
Yeah,
which I really liked.
At the beginning where you first saw the Nothing People or whatever they were,
they're a little creepy.
The non-things, like figuring out that, hang on a second, that's not him you're talking to, that's not her you're talking to, that's something else that knows a whole heck of a lot. That was whew. Yep. And then one of my regrets was that we didn't get to learn anything about the original pilots of the ship or the original crew of that ship.
Yes, I thought that was little.
We did see them, but they were kind of cool looking.
They were kind of cool looking.
I hope that they reveal what sort of alien they were, and we do get to see it eventually sometime.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, and like I kind of want to hear more about the accident, but
it looked crocodile-ish or possibly Gornish, maybe.
Looked horse to me, actually.
Yeah, horse. I thought like an alligator sort of face or snout, like a lizard.
Yeah. But again, though, this was a good one. Like I said, I think anyone can get into this and just like, because there's a lot of showing without telling. Like you understand more about their motivations, why he's concerned, why the blue box is important to him, what he does, what she does. All around a really good, episode. Doctor Who.
Yeah. So next week or this week, 2 days, we get The Giggle.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this one.
This is the one where they're spending the money, I think.
Absolutely.
This is the one where they're spending the money because they have a big name. Oh, sorry. Hang on. We should touch on one quick thing before we leave the Wild Blue Yonder. We should touch on the very ending there.
Yes.
How they did make it back safely. Sorry. But if they didn't make it back safely, we wouldn't have an episode next week.
That's the way it works usually, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But anyway, they made it back safely. And we did get to see Donna and the Doctor meet up with her grandfather, Wilfred Mott, who was played by the late Bernard Crimmins, who loved the show and was thrilled to be part of it for all these years and thrilled to come back to it. And unfortunately passed away. His health was not good, well enough that he could do more than he did. And they wanted to film a lot more with him, I guess, but he just couldn't do it. So
No.
we were, I don't know if he'll show up at all in maybe the beginning of next week's episode, maybe as the replay of the last few minutes.
Yes, maybe, yeah.
And you might get a couple extra scenes there. You might get a little exposition from him at the beginning of next week's episode. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not very likely. You might get a little bit.
I heard RTD said that was it. That was his own.
Or you get like a voiceover maybe or something.
Yeah.
With him off screen, just like telling him what's going on.
He passed away in '93. And they asked him, so have you retired? He goes, no, just no one asked me to work at my age, he says.
He was fantastic, and he was like the embodiment of fans of the show, really.
Of the Tennant Tate era, I really loved his character. He was
Well, they came in first in the Titanic episode, Voyage of the Damned, not as Donna's grandfather. They just brought him in as a random English guy.
So
And hey, it's Bernard Cribbins. Let's have him standing here and talking about aliens attacking London. Perfect little cameo. Great. But then the next year for Christmas, you had The Runaway Bride. And the actor who played Donna's father, he passed away after that episode had been done.
Mhm.
So when they brought Donna into the show a year later as the full-time companion, they had her mother, but they didn't have the father anymore. And they had this great idea. Hey, what about Bernard Cribbins? Why don't we bring him in and have him be her grandfather? And it worked out brilliantly.
Yeah, I loved all of his scenes during that era.
Yeah. Well, he was great fun in all the episodes he was in, but he really shone brightest in The End of Time Parts 1 and 2.
Yep. Where
he took a much more active role and showed great range and just was just incredible.
I loved his Seniors Club. I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
No, again, absolutely, he was one of my favorite parts of that era. And
yeah.
Like
and the scene that he did was just emotional and just a nice little nod and a nice little thing to both for him and for the fans and for Donna and David too, because they loved working with him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. And who wouldn't? Yeah.
Oh, I'd love working with them.
Yeah.
By a chance. Yeah.
Yeah. But then that leads directly into the giggle, because at the end of the episode, while they're yonder there, Wilfred says, "Oh, we knew you'd come back to save us. And save us from what? Well, everyone's going mad and going crazy. Well, what's going on? Apparently, everyone's giggling."
Yeah.
Now, there are lots of secrets kept about this episode, and lots of unkept secrets about this episode. We know that Neil Patrick Harris is in it, and it has been confirmed that he is the Toymaker, which
so he is playing the Celestial Toymaker.
References back to the Celestial Toymaker, which was an episode with William Hartnell back in the 60s, 65, I want to say, but that's just a guess. Very
interesting episode too. When I read the script, it looked good.
That was a really good episode. Yes. I read the novelization for it years ago. Because
episodes, isn't it?
It is one of the last ones. Yes. I think they only have one episode existing.
Yes.
I believe that the plan is to animate that episode and to put it out fairly soon, because
I saw the preview for the R actually.
Yeah, just because people will want to know. People are buying up the DVDs of these animated recreations.
Oh yeah.
And this is an important one to do, just so that people can keep up with the specials. And there's going to be extra interest in that episode in particular because of the new one here.
Like I said, the show gets bounced around. Like right now, the old stuff's on BritBox and Tubi, and the 05 stuff's on Prime Amazon. Pick up a DVD so you can actually watch when you watch it is one of those things why it doesn't make so much sense. Yeah, so like I said, we know Neil Patrick Harris. We know he's playing the Toymaker.
Yep.
We've seen a few weird clips.
The Celestial Toymaker was this all-powerful, immortal being that the Doctor ran into in his travels way back when, and he beat him in the Trilogic game to escape.
Yeah.
And it was an odd episode, but it was a good episode and an interesting, fun episode. It was nice to see another godlike character. He was kind of Q-like and kind of Doctor-like and kind of just interesting.
Well,
in the original, he was played by Michael Gough, I believe, and he went on to do a number of things. Notably, he was Alfred in the 90s Batman movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and he dressed in like a Chinese Mandarin outfit.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And that was just for style and for fun or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Doctor suffers the same problem as Superman, is who can stand up to Superman. How do you find a Toto villain? And it's very hard. The Toymaker, I think, especially back in the Hartnell era, was one of those ones that could actually give the Doctor a serious challenge. Like,
Also because they hadn't fully expanded upon or developed the Doctor's powers as they were.
even so, though, someone that can make his intellect and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this should be interesting because the Doctor has faced God level beings before, but
Yep.
I hope. Well, I gotta say, like, I was hoping to be more cerebral, but I got a feeling if it's Neil Patrick Harris, it won't be as cerebral as I hoped it would be.
I think it's going to get a little silly. I think he's going to be a little unhinged and a little wacky and madcap. Kind of like how they've done the Master the last few years, which I have not liked.
Neither have I. It just doesn't make much
sense. The Master's not zany and woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. He's not the Joker.
He's not the Joker.
He's a conniving world dominator.
He is basically the Doctor's equal without ethics.
Yeah.
And he's
or should be.
He's smart and planning. He's not crazy, insane, or funny for that part.
Yeah.
So I've got a feeling it's going to be a very goofy episode. I hope not.
But then you have to balance it out because of things that we know are going to happen.
Excuse me.
We know that Tennant's going to die in this episode, and he's going to regenerate because we know Ncuti Gatwa comes in on December 25th as the Doctor, as the 15th Doctor. We know that there's going to be a regeneration. Now, some people are going to say, oh, I really wanted more David Tennant. Yeah, we all did.
We all did.
There are still possibilities you can have more David Tennant.
Yeah.
You can have those missing in-between stories, either in print form or in audio adventure or even a spin-off. They could do more Dr. Donna stuff because there's time travel involved. Not everything has to take place linearly.
Yeah.
So they can cram more stories in there.
He has mentioned he wants more stories, but I think having Tennant around with the 15th Doctor coming up will take attention away from the 15th Doctor.
Yeah, I'm saying like in the next few years you could revisit this cast and crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the challenge for this episode was we know how it's going to end. Going to regenerate.
And you know what? I'm kind of glad that this episode is happening now because it was always kind of depressing to have him die on Christmas.
True. True.
I mean, sure, he got reborn and we had a nice new Doctor or whatever, but we never got to see that new Doctor on Christmas. We just got to see them mug to the camera for a minute and then fade to black end credits. Yeah. I really am glad that they're doing this before Christmas. So you're going to have hopefully a very uplifting, fun adventure on Christmas Day.
I think so. And I'm curious to see how they do it. Like that's going to be the challenge. If RTD, the writer can actually figure out how the regeneration make an upbeat, whatever kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then that'll be a win. But like you said, here's another interesting question too. What do you feel about using big names like Neil Patrick Harris and Doctor Who as characters?
Neil Patrick Harris is very talented.
Yeah, I'm torn.
He is a fan of nerddom. He is a fan of this sort of stuff. So I think for him, it probably is a little bit of a passion project or a bucket list checkoff or whatever you want to call it. I think that he will really enjoy and wants to do this and do it well. Because all the people who guest star on these things, they know the gravity or the mavity. They know the they know the power of the show, and they know the fans, and they know what it means to them, and they want to do a good job for them. So I think that he will do a good job because of that, but it's all up to the script.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is he right for it? In the right role, yes. Because he's not a AAA blockbuster star. It's not like they're bringing in Tom Cruise. It's not like they're bringing in Denzel Washington. It's not like they're bringing in Angelina Jolie. They're not bringing in somebody of that echelon. They're bringing in a TV star to be on a TV show.
An American TV star.
An American TV star, yes. Yep. And that could be to play to the American audiences. That could be because they found somebody who really wanted to do it. It could be because he's the best actor for the job.
I'm gonna go look up and see who got cast, because they'll be in the Wikipedia, I think. But I always worry about bringing known faces into shows like this.
Yep.
Because, like you said, if you go to A-list, it'll take away from
the story,
everything else, right? Basically, right? Like if you had Tom Cruise, you'd be looking at Tom Cruise the whole time, and not the Tenet kind of thing. Neil Patrick Harris, I think,
if you had like Elvis in the show, Elvis would overshadow everything else.
Yeah, which you don't want.
If you had somebody who had a signature catchphrase line, something like that, you'd be waiting for them to put that line into the show the whole episode long.
And I think Neil Patrick Harris is that fine line between famous but not too famous enough to distract from anything.
Yeah.
But and like I said, my counterpoint too, I would wager that they've had British superstars in here that we had no clue they were.
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely, yep. A lot of them that have guest starred there, like the guy who played Dan in the last season and the season. He's a huge star in Britain or whatever. I want to say Coronation Street.
I think so. But yeah, he is quite huge.
I had no idea who he was.
No, neither did I.
Yeah.
Same who played the old guy in the oh shoot. What was his name? I'm terrible. Is that terrible? The old guy companion. He's quite too.
Yes. I can't remember his name either now.
And he did say his catchphrase, so he got in there.
Yeah.
But going back, basically, like, I'm looking. Okay, so it has happened, but we've had Richard E. Grant too, which is a kind of a nice in between. But yeah, you can't overshadow.
Well, Richard Grant, you had Anthony Stewart Head in School Reunion episode, who was from Buffy, where North American audiences know him, but I'm sure he was in maybe not millions, but a lot of other things in the UK.
And he was just so enough that we didn't clue in, and it's far enough away from him from being him that I thought was really good. So last time I watched this episode, like, well, Neil Patrick Harris, like, he also has got a kind of a weird accent too. Like, anyways, I'm looking forward to it because
Graham was the guy's name, and
that's it. Yes.
Yep, Graham, and he was played by Bradley Walsh.
Bradley Walsh is another kind of big.
Yeah. Big in the UK, but I didn't know who he was.
Could walk down the street.
I thought he was really good. I really enjoyed him.
Yep.
I thought he was the best companion she had.
100%.
But I didn't know who he was.
No, 100%.
What the actor was, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this episode because, you know what? I do enjoy watching a new piece of sci-fi, and having these specials on each Saturday is an absolute treat for me. Do
we know how long this episode is going to be?
Oh, I you know what? I can't say it'd be longer than an hour.
I think it has to go longer than an hour. I think it has to go an hour and a half.
Let's see here.
Just because you have to write the story, build it up, finish it off, defeat the villain, but still have the death and the wrap up.
Let me see here. I've got linked up. I'm looking at IMDb right now.
I think you need minimum hour 15.
1 hour, 1 minute.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I think RTD is constrained by that, and I hope that it's like not what do you call it?
Not rushed.
Time. Yeah, so he's gonna jam stuff in basically.
Yep, because I heard that there were going to be a bunch of guest stars in this. I heard like surprise guest stars and cameos and stuff from the shows past. Like, I heard that Bonnie Langford was coming back, who played Mel, but I don't know where or when she was supposed to be coming back.
I'm looking at the IMDb here.
Yep.
So, yeah, I would say they hyped it up way too hard, in my opinion.
What do you mean? Yeah. Yeah,
But
Bonnie Langford's coming back, or
she's
yeah.
listed. She's listed as the cast of this episode.
Okay, all right. So I was right. Hey, and I don't use IMDb right now, so
We
or I
got
didn't.
Bernard Cribbins back, as you said, as your flashback.
Yeah, I
And
think that's going to be that tale or that flashback or that last week on Doctor Who
I think
minute.
so.
Yeah,
And I'm just looking at
like the cold
here.
open, basically.
Yeah. So I guess someone named the Duchess too. I'm just looking it up. If that was from that 110 episode, that one special. I can't remember.
The Duchess.
Remember the thief and the flies and all that nonsense? And you know what? It's not.
Watson Unicorn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's when he was on the bus and they went to another like they got sucked into the sand world where things were being eaten. And they had to
Oh yes. City of the Dead.
Yes, exactly.
Planet of the Dead. Sorry.
I'm just looking through it real quick to see if that's her.
No, she was Lady Kensington or something like that.
Okay. That's it. Like if they're talking about having big names here.
Yep. Because there's a rumor that Matt Smith will show up in this, but he's denied it. There's a rumor that Paul McGann will show up in it, but I don't know if he's spoken on it or not. He's very silent on social media. I don't think he has any.
No.
Which is too bad because I'd really like to see what he does because he's cool.
The cast is basically 11 people. That's it.
Okay.
And it's, Doctor, Toymaker, Donna, Wilfred, her daughter, her husband, her mother, Melanie. And Kate, it's like
you should have Kate Stewart in there as well.
Yeah, she's there, but that's it though. So it's gonna be a very light character episode, which I don't mind. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the plot, in case we keep getting home, as Greg said, the giggle of a mysterious puppet is driving the human race insane. When the Doctor discovers the return of the terrifying Toymaker, he faces a fight he can never win.
He's gonna die.
Of course he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Of course he's gonna die. But yeah.
Another thing that I really enjoy or appreciate or I'm going to enjoy about this is that he's going to die and he's going to regenerate. We're going to have the next episode on the 25th. So it's not a long wait. It's 2 weeks away.
That's one of the worst things. Like, it was like, people don't realize that, like, it's not like we have a winter break and then boom, we're back. We're going quite some time before we had episodes and seasons,
Well, what was this gap between Jodie's last series? It was like a year. Between she had a New Year's special and then the Flux, which started on like Halloween, like October of 2021, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. It was like,
or 2022.
Yeah, it was really kind of. It was a huge gap.
No, it was 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we didn't get anything again because that finished off. And then she had a New Year's special, I think, wasn't it? When she died?
Yes, it was a New Year's special.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you didn't get anything until now. So you had a whole year off with nothing.
Yeah. Hey, Brass, we're just running down the new Doctor Who stuff. We're talking about the upcoming episode, actually. It's going pretty good.
That is the one that's on the screen there is the new episode that's coming out on Saturday. And it's called The Giggle.
Shockingly enough, there, Switz, it does not say how Neil Patrick Harris got casted. I'm dying to know. Let's see. Will star, last scene. Nope. Doesn't say. I'd love to know basically how he's like, hey, you know what? I'll give it a shot.
I wonder if there's a coded hidden message here in the playing cards on the poster on the release sheet here or something.
I don't know. Like,
I mean, as fans, we love to speculate that everything is an Easter egg.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And I know RTD likes to do this, but I don't think he actually has this time around.
Yeah.
Which is, which was much part of the fun, but
Well, hang on. There's only 7 red cards, and the rest are black cards because the new Doctor is going to be black.
I saw people for a while speculating that that the letters from the titles of each of the 3 episodes were like the answers for like some kind of weird kind of
Anagram.
kind of thing. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so like okay, whatever. But like I said, I'll be watching Saturday. I've been enjoying having it come out and watching it, the same day kind of thing. It's kind of
I'm enjoying the weekly releases, and I'm enjoying the fact that it's on a Saturday.
yes,
Because if it was like I watch shows through the week or whatever that are weekly shows like Quantum Leap and stuff like that, and when they come out on a Wednesday night or whatever, some days I'm just too knackered to even watch, and I record it and I'll watch it in a couple weeks. So I watched 2 episodes the other day just to catch up because I was just too busy.
yeah.
But having it on a Saturday, it's kind of like event TV, and you know it's coming out, and you can plan for it, and you've got the day off, and you got the day off the next day, so you can look forward to it and enjoy it.
Where basically I just like to binge watch. I'll let it save up and then watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
But with 3 specials, the weeks go by really quickly to watch these things. Just boom, boom, boom. So I don't mind watching them because by the time I watch them and then I digest them, and also too they're connected but not heavily interconnected. So
Well, and because it's such a franchise and such a fan base, you know there'd be spoilers out there, and I don't really enjoy spoilers.
no, especially this one too.
Well, when it's something like this that's an event or monumental or such a big important anniversary, 60 years. I mean, that's crazy. I don't want it spoiled.
No. I must admit, I wouldn't mind something a little bigger for the 60th, but I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been nice to have a multi-doctor story,
but pretty impossible because Capaldi says he's done.
Yeah.
Matt Smith might have done it again, but we already had that.
Yeah.
Eccleston's not
and that I think was the trap they fell into. Is like, what could we do that we haven't already done?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, this one's going to make or break. I think this little arc here. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this will make or break it. This is going to be the send off, and the one that's going to make or break the future is going to be the 25th. It's going to be the Ncuti Gatwa show, the first one.
I got a lot of high comments on that one. I just something about him and his co-star and all that. I just got a good vibe about it.
Yep. Ruby Sunday.
Yeah. This one, like I said, this one basically is this the payoff of what we're going to get for these 3 arcs kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like I said,
hopefully it is. Hopefully this one explains to us why this face was chosen and how it all happened and all the questions we have. But we might not get those until next season, though.
I do like the theory that this is just basically a dream or like a pause. I like that one much better than actually being a full regeneration.
Yeah.
Because again, regenerations used to be something pretty unique, right? Because before when he only had 12 of them, they were saved for the extremes. Now he's got unlimited ones, pop away like candy kind of thing.
Yeah. Kind of removes some of the danger to the character.
Absolutely, you're right. Actually,
yeah.
Well, that's all I got in these 3 special swits.
Yeah, that's all I got too. Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed them more than you have, I think, but I've really enjoyed them so far. I'm looking forward to the rest of it. I'm looking forward to the new season. When does the new season start? Because you got the 25th, but that's a Christmas special. Is there when would his next episode after that be?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the anniversary specials are coming out on DVD or Blu-ray in January. I don't know if Gatwa's Christmas episode will be included in that or not.
I'm just
looking. They kind of start those or they plunk that into the beginning of the next season set.
All it said basically is that it'll air in 2014.
2014 was
I mean, 2024. Sorry, duh.
Okay, 9 years ago. Yeah.
And it'll be an 8-episode season too. They said.
I really want that 10 or 12.
Yeah, I think 10 is better, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's all said 2024.
Okay, so they don't have a release date for the rest of the season yet. I'm sure that we will get one on the 25th after the episode. They'll probably say returning in spring of 2024
I would
or
imagine so. Yeah.
yes, summer of 2024
They
or
don't
something.
even have the title for the first episode. The second episode, yes.
They've filmed them all. They filmed the entire season. It's done, and I believe they started filming the second season.
I think so.
Yeah, from what I remember reading.
Filming. Yeah, film included July 14th, 2023.
Yeah.
4513. Okay. Yeah. Just,
So they could drop it at any time.
Yep. They could.
Yep.
Yeah. But just really kind of, yeah. They're really being cagey about it. I'm surprised they're not hyping it up. Because usually we get the titles and really hype up the stories and stuff like that.
It could be they don't want to distract us from the current specials.
That's what I would do. I'd have these things be the primary focus.
Yeah.
And then,
Then you can drop the titles so you can speculate galore.
I also think, too, the Church on Ruby Road, giving the first title has something to do with the outcome of that episode. So I'd hold it back for now.
Yeah.
That's my guess. It would spoil whatever the Church of Ruby Road was, that episode. That's what
Well, we know that her name is Ruby Tuesday.
Yes.
Now, who she is, I'm not sure. If she's just a random person that the Doctor runs into, or if there's something more to her, I don't know. Ruby Road and Ruby Tuesday has some sort of connection. Is she part of the church? Is she part of the road? Is she
Ruby Sunday?
Or Ruby Sunday?
Yeah.
No, Ruby Tuesday was the Rolling Stones, wasn't it?
Yeah, I looked over to saw it myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Ruby Sunday is her name. Sorry. Yeah.
But like I said, that
Well,
was nice to get,
Ruby Sunday and church being traditionally on Sundays could be a link right there.
Yeah. Like I said, it is nice to have this episode come out and then have a little break and then you have the one on the 25th. It's very nice, I think. I'm enjoying this little blip like this.
The pacing of and the timing of the episodes is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and before I forget, hi Mom, love you. my mom's our most dedicated fan. But yeah, we'll see what happens after this. But like I said, there's nothing else I'm really watching, so I'm enjoying this to get me through. But yeah, like I said,
have you watched any holiday movies yet?
Oh, I've watched Die Hard, Love Actually, Love Hard. That's about it though.
When do we want to talk about our Christmas movies or our holiday movies?
Good question, because next Thursday I'll be getting drunk, so I'll be getting loaded at the bar, so I won't be able. I have to go out and socialize.
That'll be perfect. We'll do it right after that.
Says, you know what?
Merry Christmas, you sons of Christmases.
Yeah, I've been waiting for those. Let's shoot the 21st. Let's give him a heads up.
21st. That's pushing it there. That's a long time away.
We can do it in January because I'm not doing it next week, and I'm not doing it the week after.
We could do it Wednesday next week.
No, I could go shop Wednesdays.
I
do grocery shop Wednesdays.
How late do you grocery shop?
Oh no, I'll do it Thursdays, but I won't do that. So, actually, I'll be out Wednesday night ripping cards with my workmates too. So next week is work stuff, dude. I've got to socialize.
What about Tuesday night?
I stream Tuesday night, but then no. Well, let's do it. Let's do it the 21st. So Hemi's prepared. Otherwise, we'll just
21st. 21st is another Thursday, so that's 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Then we'll run them down because I know Mom's been looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Because I have an eclectic collection of holiday movies. I
actually prepared a slideshow ahead of time.
I didn't do it this time.
Wow. How am I the one who never prepares anything prepared?
Good question. But
and I don't like Christmas movies.
We'll hook up definitely, Mom, for that one for sure. 21st, but
and I don't like Christmas stuff or holiday movies at all, and I'm prepared.
Because I like some classics, obviously, which is weird. There's some that just basically I can't stand to watch. I can't stand watching White Christmas. You wait. Spoiler. You spend the whole movie waiting to sing "White Christmas," and then watching the whole movie is really difficult.
I was going to ask if White Christmas is the first. Let's put on a concert to save the venue movie.
I'll do some research to figure that one out.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting trivia. I have never seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Really?
Nope. I know the plot, but never seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Yep.
Nope, never seen that one.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Which is, I thought it's kind of interesting. I've never seen that one, basically.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll do that 21st place. I want to talk about some traditional and some non-traditional ones. Like I said, we've got Die Hard.
Yep.
Shri goes, well, Red is a Christmas movie then, because it starts at Christmas. I go, hold on now. But yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot of Hallmark movies, and you can even talk about basically, does anyone set out to make a Christmas classic, or does it just happen? And I tell you what, I have seen some shows, some Christmas shows. I know people are trying to make that next, big Christmas movie that people watch every year.
Yeah.
And they missed horribly.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like Elf, just happens naturally.
Yep.
And
sometimes you have the perfect director to do these sort of things and launch your franchise or your MCU. Because that was Jon Favreau.
Yep. Bob Newhart wrote the script for Elf. He knew it would be immediately holiday classic. That's why he signed on. He goes, "This is going to be on forever."
Yeah.
He said.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I've seen some. I've seen some shows. I'm going to put a little list together. I knew were absolutely forced, trying to be the next big Christmas, holiday annual.
Yeah.
And just like, sorry, this isn't it, Chief.
Fred Claus.
Fred Claus, I think, was just a Christmas movie, but what was that one with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds that just came out last year? That one felt like they're trying to shoot for to be a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And there's a couple that felt, it's a heartfelt message.
Yeah.
No, I'll put a couple of those down too, because there's some I can tell they're just trying just too hard.
Yeah.
The best movies just happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Why isn't Gremlins a Christmas, special? It should be Christmas every year special.
Yeah.
Okay, Switz. Well,
all right.
I'll start harassing Hemi Cakes too.
Yep. Yep.
So she can prep, because I want to hear her. I want to heir why King Kong is a holiday movie.
Yes.
I know it snows in the last couple minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that's the case, then
get the poop together so we can get this going. Yeah.
Then The Thing is a Christmas movie. If we go by that,
Yeah. 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 Any movie with snow. Yeah.
Yeah, snow. All right, Switz. Until next time.
All right.
We'll also cover off too. Well, yeah, we'll see. We got to talk about the third Doctor Who too. People are dying to hear our thoughts on that one.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah,
we'll depend, and we'll see how long the timing goes. Yeah.
Yeah, but 21st, back here for holiday movies. Bring your favorites, and we'll have a list of other ones for you to check out. Like I said, there's some ones that come out recently, like Die Hard is an excellent holiday film. I recommend. Not Die Hard. Die Hard is. Love Heart. Pardon me. Love Heart is actually cute. A cute Christmas film.
I did pick up the Die Hard advent calendar.
I took a picture of the of that building when I was in California in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's a Fox building. I took a picture of it. That's where Hans Gruber falls off of. I know that building. But yeah, it should be good though.
Yep.
All right, my friend. Until next time.
Right. Yep. Thank you everyone for watching. Yep. We will see you all in the future. Have a good night, and thanks for joining us.
Awesome. Cheers, Switch. Thanks,
night.
Mom. Have a good night.
Bye. Bye.